Hello everyone, what is up and welcome back to the channel iRumors. Today's video is going to be the teardown of the Samsung Galaxy A7 2017. We've done the entire repair series of this phone. Now it's time for us to tear this phone down. We've done the entire repair series and now the last thing that's left to do is to tear this phone down. So without further ado, let's get started and right into the teardown. So for this, of course, we need the phone. Other than that, we will be needing our toolkit, which contains the magnetic pad and everything else, and we'll be needing the suction cup, and last but not the least, hot air gun. This is to soften the adhesive. The screw pad at the top left hand corner, and we're going to take out a few picks. Now the first step in removing the back glass is you're going to heat up the back glass. As usual, that's a decent amount of heat. Let's take off suction cup, put it beneath, and try to remove it. Okay, there we go. This was kind of easy. It was actually much easier. Now all you gotta do is to just slide the back glass open. It is actually very easy to open. I think the adhesive just wasn't that strong, so I think just a bit of heat just did the job well. There we go. That was easy. I didn't even have to use more than one pick. That itself is an achievement on its own. Back glass has been opened. That's just a lot of residue, and let's just remove it, and there we go. The back glass has been removed. Okay, now with the back glass removed, to replace the speakers, we got to remove all these screws that we have on top of this back plate and this wireless charger, because this wireless charger and this back plate are actually connected, and this is where the speaker lies. So we've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So now we got to remove all 11 screws in order for us to open this back cover. So let's quickly open that. We've got all the screws for the back cover removed. All we got to do is just lift it up, and to lift it up, let's just use some spudger. Okay, there we go. We've got the back cover slightly removed. Oh, there's two parts to this. We've got to remove the top part plastic right over here, remove it, and then we have another small part which is the one that's connecting the wireless charger, and there we go. The entire plate, including the wireless charger and the speaker module, all the necessary parts removed, and the ribbon cable for the screen disconnected. Last thing you gotta do is to remove the screen, and to remove it, we gotta start heating up the display. That should be sufficient heat, I guess. Now it's time to start prying the screen out. Okay, so there we go. Managed to get a small gap at the display. If you all can't open the display, let me give you all a small trick I used to remove the display. Don't put the suction cup in the middle because you're trying to lift up the whole display. Put it at either the bottom, but that is having the power button. You won't get a good grip. So what I recommend is put the suction cup at the top, near to the Samsung logo but closer to the microphone as possible. Put it, and then you lift it up, and then you'll get a small gap, and that is enough for you to put a small prying tool inside it. And you can start making your way through the sides of the display and slowly cutting through all the adhesive. I don't think this display needs two picks because usually I'll be using a multiple picks. I think you would have seen by now that mine, the glass came out and the digitizer at the bottom is still there. So I'm trying to pry out the digitizer right now. You can see there's a bit of glass all over. We've got the old display successfully removed. Now we're going to be removing the battery. The first thing we're going to do is to just unplug the battery right over here. Okay, battery connector unplugged, and the next thing I always recommend everyone to do is to loosen the adhesive on the battery. So how are we going to do it? Is by spraying alcohol. Just take a small spudger. You can use any spudger, but I would not recommend you to use a small thin one because they might break. A thick one. Don't make my old mistake of puncturing the battery. This adhesive is kind of strong, so I'm going to be putting a small pick in. I'm not really going to use that to pry the battery, but I'm just going to loosen the adhesive. It's a pretty strong adhesive. So what I'm going to do, the solution is alcohol. Okay, not the ideal way I would recommend anyone to remove a battery, but I really have no other choice because the adhesive is just so strong. That was difficult. The adhesive was really strong at the sides. I definitely not recommend anyone to prying the battery out because you really risk starting a fire. So that is something you might definitely not want to do. If you don't have a choice, then there's no other way but to use it, because alcohol really didn't work for this. I put a bit, it did work at the bottom. At the sides you definitely cannot reach with the alcohol. So yeah, sometimes you got to do that prying, but definitely highly not recommended. Now that we've got all the important components removed, what we're going to do is to remove the SIM card tray. Let's remove the SIM card tray from the phone. This is actually stuck. I'm not sure how I'm going to remove it, but we can remove the SIM card slot at the side over here. Yeah, let's remove it. No idea how I'm going to remove it because it's actually stuck, but that we shall take a look when we remove the motherboard. Let's quickly unplug this small ribbon cable at the side. Let's unplug the front facing camera, and then the next part we gotta do is to just remove these screws at the bottom. Use the screws for the bottom part removed. Let's just quickly remove it, and there we can see here is the headphone jack followed by the entire charging port, and we will remove this small screw for the headphone jack. Remove that too. The headphone jack has been removed, but sadly I put it using the ribbon cable and that broke. It's kind of useless. Let's throw it away. Now let's quickly disconnect all these small ribbon cables at the back. With that removed, now I think we can try to lift the motherboard up. Yep, okay, there we go. We're trying to lift it up, but the problem is the SIM card slot at the top. That is just making it get stuck. SIM card tray is just jammed inside, and the logic board for the Samsung Galaxy A7 2017 has been removed. Everything at the sides and not at the top. Now that's done, I think we can just push the SIM card tray out. Yep, is that done? The last part I think that we got to remove is just the home and back button flex cable that we have over here. So let's just quickly remove them. Let's try to remove it in one piece. Hopefully we don't tear that apart. And yep, I broke that too. The entire home button flex cable thing is just broken. We are done. So that is the teardown of the Samsung Galaxy A7 2017. This repair is not a hard repair, but it's more of messy repair. The only difficulty that I faced in this repair is removing the battery, because the battery was really adhered fully on. Other than that, I don't really have any other difficulty. Display just made a huge mess because the digitizer was just shattering into pieces because everything is just onto my skin right now, and I just hate it. So that's actually been it for the teardown. I really was hoping I would salvage more parts, but most of the parts just keep tearing apart. In last, I was hoping that I can salvage the home button and the back button, but that also was to no avail. Parts that we managed to salvage are very minimal, so that's actually kind of sad, but I guess it's what it is. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to click the like button, get subscribed, turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I post a review, a teardown, or self-repair guides, or any other testings that we have. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch all of you in the next one. Bye bye.